we are.
So,
Good morning, guys. Michael and Israel here once again from Bucks Island. Thanks for you guys joining us. A little Tech Tuesday. Um, fun Tuesday.
yeah, double Monday.
Double Mondays. So staying busy. Boats going. It's actually pretty cool to see the showrooms. Got a few boats in there. I know a good chunk of them are waiting to get pulled down to get rigged, but
Yeah.
um, it's nice to see. We got a few Falcons that managed to squeak in as stock boats, and so good to see all that stuff. Seems like we're kind of manufacturers kind of hitting a pace on at least getting stuff in. Maybe not as much as we'd all want, but all right, guys. So drop a question in there if you've got a tech question. Otherwise, I'm off to dive into one of the groups and find something to talk about. I will say, you got anything that's come up the last couple of weeks that might be worth discussing?
Mm,
I think we've hit some of the stuff. Questions on the new shows that we're getting in, all that kind of stuff. So I mean, nothing really jumps out at. I think just in the last couple of weeks, we had questions about the power poles versus the Raptors.
right.
Starting
Yeah.
to see a lot more Raptors now
Mhm.
with the new Skeeters showing up.
Yeah.
Um,
And so far, I hadn't had any issues major. Besides, common stuff. I've had a cylinder that was bad out of the box. It just leaked down and had to put a new cylinder on it. Or it was leaking something weird.
hmm.
So replaced one of those, but that was a month ago, maybe 2 months ago.
All right. I will. Speaking of power poles, I will throw out. All right. Little technical hiccup. Still showing online. Well, this is fun. This is not the Tech Tuesday I like to see.
You live still?
It's saying we are. Woo! All right. Just shut everything. All right. I think we are live.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Is there anybody commenting on
I'm,
that?
I'm
I got
seeing.
That's Keith.
Yeah. Let us know if you're showing up good and clear. I'm gonna jump in here. I'm just gonna read a comment because I think we might have an issue with them actually coming through to our system. Um, I have a radio that is not working. Do y'all work on them? It's on a 2020 Falcon.
Well, we don't physically work on the radio itself. If it's broken, we have to send it off. Typically, if it's a boat side issue, say a bad connection, blown fuse or something like that, we can usually take care of that pretty easily. But if it's depending on the radio company, it will depend on how we have to deal with it. Like if it's a fusion, and we have to send it to fusion, and they decide if it's bad or not, and they'll send us a new one. If it's a different brand, we have to go sometimes different routes with it.
All right. So I see that question. Let me go see if we're still getting out there on some of these groups. Sorry, guys. I guess Tech Tuesday's having technical difficulties. The irony is not lost on me. All right. Well, I'm going to dig through. It looks like we are up and running. I would appreciate if somebody just drop a comment saying, hey, yep, we still hear you. Um, that would be awesome. I'm going to scroll through the Yamaha, see if I can find a quick. All right, this might be something. Looking to purchase an '03 F225 with one cylinder down. The three on the left are at 150 psi. Top two on the right at 150 psi, and the bottom right one is 80 to 90 psi. What am I looking at financially to fix this motor, and is it worth repairing? I've been looking high and low for 225, but I don't want to make a costly mistake. I would love to hear everyone's thoughts. Um, Anything to
Well,
maybe some options on how to fix some of those compression issues?
yeah,
What
and
what is my
I mean, from what I can tell, that guy's in Florida, so I try to shy away from anything in Florida. But if he's in Florida, he doesn't have much of a choice. I mean, unless he buys one elsewhere that's in good shape. Anytime there's compression issues, especially on the four-stroke, you've got to kind of be careful because I mean, if it's the cylinder itself bad, it takes a lot to redo those. If it's a valve or something, sometimes you have a valve that'll be bent or something simple, and then it's a matter of pulling the head off, putting a new valve in, and getting the head reworked. It's not terrible, but as far as down there in Florida, you're gonna pay probably a premium for any kind of work that gets done to it. So
all right?
I would find something that's not broken, preferably. I mean, if I were a normal person,
Gotcha.
me, I'm gonna
You,
find something broken. That's it.
yes, you not the normal person. That is for sure. It's real. All right. Just changed my oil on Saturday. Last two times I have started the engine, I've heard a metallic sound coming from the top of the engine. When I take the cover off, the sound goes away. Motor's a four-stroke 150 Yamaha. Any ideas?
It depends on if it's like a newer show 150. It's probably normal. Um, the metallic sound is usually a ticking sound, and it'll go away once the oil pressure goes up. If they've changed the weight of their oil, it could be due to that. Some of those oils get up to the top a little bit faster than other ones. But the noise you normally hear are the little vanes on the variable valve timing cam chattering until they get oil pressure.
Okay.
Now, if it's an older one, if it's an older 150, then they have balancers. They have these little balancers, a harmonic balancer for the engine, and they can, if they get noisy, then it can be a major problem. That usually means that balancer needs to be replaced, and then inspected after it's replaced to make sure the fiber gear is still intact. Because if it tears the fiber gear up, then you have to pull the oil sump and clean it out.
All right.
Yeah. Because it turns into a strainy little goo in there, and
Gotcha.
will give you oil pressure problems.
Well, I wish we get more info on the year of the motors, but good stuff. Jumped over to the Skeeter group, and I think we'll do this as the last one, unless I'm not sure whether the system is not working. So if y'all are dropping comments in and I'm not seeing them, I apologize. I will get that fixed for next week. So in the Skeeter group, guys looking to replace the steering cable on my 87 Skeeter. Just upgraded the motor. The question is, the hydraulic system truly worth the money?
Yes.
I only get to fish a couple times a month. I'm not sure about the cost.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if I had a boat today and it came with cable steering, I would immediately swap it to hydraulic because it's well worth it.
Is there a horsepower cutoff that you'd?
No, if it was a 40 horse or something, maybe not. I've even had some people that had little boats that were rated for 40 horse that had a lot of torque steer. If I was going to have a smaller boat and have cable, I'd have no feedback cable. That way, you don't have to hold the steering wheel real tight the whole time.
Gotcha.
A regular feedback system, you push the motor and the steering wheel moves. So when you're going down the lake, if there's a lot of torque on that motor, you're constantly having to hold it. And if something happens and you just get disconnected from that steering wheel, it's going to turn all the way one way, and you're going to go whichever way that direction is going to be. So, I feel more comfortable having.
Is there any reliability issue that you've seen between a hydraulic system and a cable system?
No, I mean the hydraulic system usually lasts a little bit longer. Depending on what kind of boat and how the severity of the angle of the steering, how much it has to turn, the radius. What usually happens is in that radius of the steering, the cable steering, it actually starts cutting into the edge of the sheathing of the cable, and that's the reason the steering gets so hard. It's not because it's bound up, at the motor. It actually starts going into a groove, and the deeper it gets into that, cuts into that sheath and makes a groove, tighter that steering gets. And that's and it typically lasts anywhere from 4 to 6 years, and then hydraulic. You just end up having to do maintenance, like change the end caps on it, which is a lot cheaper than buying a whole system and then refilling it. So.
All right. Well, guys, I apologize for technical glitches this morning. I hope maybe somebody gets something out of some of those questions, and we'll try to get fixed for next week.
Yeah.
So, doing the best we can. Y'all have a wonderful week, and come see us if you need anything. Nothing big major coming. We're just kind of in that preparing for the true cold to set in, and
fall's coming.
Yep, fall's coming. Yeah. The good news is, at least from the sales side of things, boats are coming in, which is an encouraging sight in the current environment we're seeing. So. Y'all, thank y'all so much for sticking in that are watching, and we will catch y'all next week. Later, guys.